What if the greatest force shaping humanity wasn't war or kings but technology? From the moment early humans mastered fire over 1,000,000 years ago, our story changed forever. Fire gave us warmth, protection, and cooked food that fueled brain growth. Around 10,000 years ago, agriculture allowed people to settle, build cities, and create civilizations. The invention of writing preserved knowledge beyond memory, while the printing press in the 15th century spread ideas across continents. The steam engine powered the Industrial Revolution, transforming economies and daily life. In the 20th century, electricity, computers, and the internet connected billions of people in real time, step by step, tool by tool. Technology did not just change how we live, it shaped who we are. What if a single invention could decide the fate of entire civilizations? From the first bronze swords to autonomous drones, technology has continuously transformed the battlefield. The invention of gunpowder in medieval China shattered the dominance of armored knights and fortified castles. Centuries later, the Industrial Revolution introduced machine guns, railways, and ironclad warships, turning war into mechanized destruction. In World War I, tanks and chemical weapons redefined trench warfare, while World War II unleashed radar, rockets, and ultimately the atomic bomb. During the Cold War, nuclear missiles and satellites created a new kind of standoff war, fought through deterrence. Today, cyber warfare and precision-guided weapons show that battles are no longer fought only on land, sea, and air, but also in space and cyberspace. Throughout history, as technology advanced, so did the scale, speed, and consequences of war. What if a single idea could change the fate of millions? Throughout history, humanity has been transformed not just by wars or kings, but by breakthroughs that reshaped everyday life. The invention of writing in ancient Mesopotamia allowed knowledge to outlive generations. The printing press, perfected by Johannes Gutenberg in the 15th century, spread ideas that fueled the Renaissance and Reformation. The scientific revolution challenged old beliefs and redefined our understanding of the universe. The Industrial Revolution mechanized production, accelerating global change. And in the 20th century, digital technology connected billions across continents. These incredible milestones reveal a powerful truth. Humanity's greatest force has always been its ability to learn, adapt, and innovate. What if the mightiest empires in history were destined to fall? From the disciplined legions of the Roman Empire to the vast trade networks of the Mongol Empire, great powers have risen on strength, innovation, and ambition. The Roman Empire unified much of Europe through law and military power, yet internal corruption and external invasions fractured its foundations. The Mongol Empire built the largest contiguous land empire in history. The division among heirs weakened its unity. Centuries later, the British Empire ruled over a quarter of the world's population, only to decline after two world wars and growing independence movements. History shows that empires expand through vision and power, but they fall when they... What happens when two powers refuse to back down? History's most dangerous rivalries did not just shape nations, they reshaped the world. In the 5th century BCE, Athens and Sparta clashed in the Peloponnesian War, weakening Greece and opening the door to Macedonian conquest. Centuries later, Rome and Carthage fought the Punic Wars, a brutal struggle that ended with Carthage, destroyed, and Rome dominating the Mediterranean. In the 20th century, the United States and the Soviet Union faced off in the Cold War, a nuclear standoff that divided the globe and brought humanity to the brink during the Cuban Missile Crisis. These rivalries were more than conflicts between leaders, they were collisions of ambition, ideology, and survival, proving that when great powers compete, the entire world feels the consequences. What if the American dream was not born in quiet suburbs but in crowded city streets? From the bustling docks of 19th century New York City to the factories of Chicago and the film studios of Los Angeles, American cities became engines of ambition. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, millions of immigrants arrived through Ellis Island, seeking opportunity. Cities offered industrial jobs, public schools, and the promise of social mobility. During the Great Migration, African Americans moved north to urban centers, reshaping culture, politics, and music. Skyscrapers rose as symbols of progress, while small businesses lined busy avenues. Though inequality and hardship persisted, cities remained places where reinvention was possible. In their streets and skylines, the American dream found its stage and its testing ground. What if a fragile experiment in liberty could survive against all odds and change the world? In 1776, men like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson risked everything to declare independence and build a new republic founded on law, not monarchy. Decades later, Abraham Lincoln fought to preserve that union and end slavery, redefining freedom itself. Visionaries like Alexander Hamilton shaped a national economy, while inventors and industrial leaders drove innovation that powered a rising nation. From the drafting of the Constitution to the struggle for civil rights, these leaders did not build a perfect country, but they built a framework of democracy, strong enough to endure, adapt, and inspire generations to come. They called it the Wild West, a land of freedom, fortune, and gunfire, but how wild was it, really? In the mid-1800s, after the U.S. Civil War, millions moved westward, driven by gold discoveries in California in 1848, and the promise of land under the Homestead Act of 1862. Railroads pushed across the continent, linking east and west by 1869. While cowboys drove cattle along dusty trails to booming railroad towns, lawmen and outlaws became legends, but violence was only part of the story. Settlers built farms and cities, often at devastating cost to Native American nations, who were displaced. Through war and federal policy, by the 1890s, barbed wire fenced the open range, the frontier was declared closed, and the era of the Wild West faded into history, transformed from a rugged reality into an enduring American myth. What if the most powerful force in history wasn't an empire or an army but belief? For thousands of years, religion has shaped civilizations, laws, wars, and cultures across the globe. In the ancient world, faith guided rulers in places like Egypt and Mesopotamia, where kings claimed divine authority. The spread of Christianity transformed the Roman Empire and later defined much of Europe. Islam united vast regions from Arabia to Spain, advancing science, trade, and learning during the Islamic Golden Age in South Asia and East Asia. Hinduism, Buddhism, and Confucian thought shaped social order and philosophy. Religion inspired breathtaking art and architecture, from cathedrals to mosques, and also fueled conflicts like the Crusades. Across continents and centuries, belief systems have influenced how societies govern, how people live, and how history unfolds.